Hey guys, what's happening? Hope you're well. So this is my channel, Keep Barnes, random videos and vlogs. As you know, I did make a poll a couple of days ago about what I was going to do. So I had two choices, okay? The first one was about my DVD collection and Blu-ray DVD collection. The second poll was my PlayStation 4 games collection. And guys, today you're in for a treat. I do have a couple of regular DVDs, a mixture of different types of DVDs, and also Blu-ray DVDs. So without further ado, guys, here we go. So, guys, as you can see, yes, that's a couple of DVDs I have in my bed at the moment. But the first one is Goodfellas. Now, that's a really good kind of like mafia kind of style film. So, that's my first one. Second one has to be nostalgia horror one called Stephen King's It, like the 1980s horror. So, obviously, you have John Ritter, the late John Ritter, I should say. You know, good actor. Remember him from Eight Simple Rules. Yeah, good horror film. I rather this now than the iconic, I rather this iconic horror film than the remake. But yeah, like this, here's an interesting one for you guys. This DVD, right? So when you're watching one part, like on the disc, right, is obviously the first bit of the film or the series, as they call it. So when you turn the DVD around on its other side, it's the second part, which is cool. So that's that's it. And then total nostalgia for everyone who likes Brandon Lee, the late Brandon Lee, The Crow. Now this film was was proper epic. I mean, from the 90s, early 90s, class film. Yeah, hard to believe that Brandon Lee got shot in this film for real. It's crazy to think that was his last film. But yeah, that's The Crow. And for those who are man to paranormal kind of films and stuff like found footage kind of films, here's the Paranormal Entity 2. Now, I have the first one, but for some reason I can't find it. Somewhere in my room, I think. But yeah, this is the second one, and it's based on John Wayne Gacy. But yeah, it's a good kind of horror film, so good kind of found footage. And of course, has to be the 2008 one, Paranormal Activity. Now, yes, Yes, I'm doing a video here in my bedroom. But yeah, here we go. Proper class found footage kind of horror film. Jesus, I remember I seen this like when I think it was my sister at the time bought this DVD the very first time and I ever came across it. It's not a bad horror film. Good kind of found footage, kind of paranormal kind of style film. And then you have the remake of the Annabelle horror, which has Ryan Reynolds, and yeah, it wasn't a bad remake of the original. And I do actually have the original horror, the Annabelle horror DVD, and guys, here we go. 1970, I think it was 70 something. When the hell did this come out? 1979. So this is the OG, the original Anvil horror film. So you have the James Brolin, who's actually Josh Brolin's older brother. Then you have Margaret Kidder and Rod Steiger. Now, yeah, I actually didn't mind this kind of old horror film. It's pretty decent. I mean, for a late 70s film, it's good. It's what you expect for a good kind of Anvil horror kind of, you know, film. Plus, it's based on the actual real case of the Anvil Horror House. And then you have the sequel to that film, which is The Anvil Horror 2, The Possession. Now, this apparently, from what it says, is based on the prequel of the other one. And it was a family called, so it's based on the true story of the family, the Montellis. And something similar to The Anvil Horror House, like, except the son, as you can see, like, it's hard to point at the camera, but that guy in the middle there, who's holding a shotgun or rifle, yeah, he was the possessed. And you see the guy in the white shirt in the far right? That's him. Same guy. But a really good horror film. Really good horror film. Oh, here we are. So, as I showed you, is the Paranormal Entity 2. Here's the first one, Paranormal Entity. Now, this one, it was kind of a bit of an odd kind of found footage kind of horror film. I mean, it's a bit weird. It's about a haunted house, obviously. The poor girl here, well, I should say, she's meant to be 18 years old, but obviously the actress who played her looks in her 20s. But yeah, it's based kind of on a haunted house, like an entity that's following the poor girl and stalking her, and eventually kills her at the end of it. And what happens is the son, or the brother, her brother gets framed for the murder and rape. He didn't do it. But yeah, that's the Paranormal Entity 2. And guys, we all know, like, Anthony Hopkins, when he played Hannibal Lecter. Guys, he was creepy as hell, or heckins, as most people would say. He was creepy as hell, but yeah, Hannibal, like in everyone's horror collection DVDs, you gotta have Hannibal. Creepy, but good. And then there's another kind of creepy horror film, which is called Cape Fear. Actually, kind of a horror film that, well, a thriller really, what Robert De Niro did, and he's creepy as hell. I mean, he may not look much. I mean, he's a guy who's a nutcase and follows his family, and yeah, out for revenge, out to kill people in a, and yeah, it's pretty decent. Cape Fear that is. And of course, I had to have horror. Or sorry, I had to have comedy. So I've American Pie, Baited House. Obviously, we all know what's about. But yeah, I gotta have a good, funny kind of comedy film, now and then, every so often. Now, here's some for you guys. Here's a good tree. We all know we grew up watching Freddy Krueger and Nightmare on Elm Street, and then you have Jason Voorhees in the Friday 13th. But here's a good one for you: Freddy versus Jason. And here's a good one for you guys. This was actually the very first horror DVD I ever bought when I was a kid. In an old, I think it was GameStop at the time, when GameStop was around Ireland, especially in Kildare where I'm from. But yeah, this was the very first horror DVD I ever bought when I was a kid. I think I was 10 years old, and I remember buying this in there, and it just would have cost what? It was cheap, so it would have cost about €5 or five something, or maybe €6 at the time. Brilliant, brilliant slasher horror film. Classy, had the two iconic slashers in it. Then I have the remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Although I would love to get the old classic horror ones, but this is obviously based on the old films. I mean, obviously it's dated. It's based on 1973 about the what was he called? Ed Gein, who's meant to be like Leatherface, but yeah, or the guys in the films like Leatherface. But this remake wasn't bad. It was decent. I think you have Jessica Biel, and then the guy in the cap. If you can see, I think he was in Haven. If I can remember, I think that guy in the cap was actually in Haven. But yeah, really good. Now, I used to have the very first film of this, but unfortunately, the DVD, I think it got scratched or got damaged. So unfortunately, I don't have the first one, but I have the second one, which is the late Christopher Lee. But yeah, Gremlins 2, the new batch. Really good horror film. Horror slash comedy, I think. I mean, you have Christopher Lee as a professor in this, and I think it's funny. I mean, you can see that's actually a gremlin smoking a cigar. It's pretty funny that like you have that kind of mix of horror and comedy in one. And guys, I know, I wouldn't call this horror. Well, to a degree, it could be horror, but yeah, I have the Corpse Bride. You know what? Tim Burton. I mean, you gotta have a few DVDs from Tim Burton, right? Yeah, so here's the Corpse Bride. So obviously you have Johnny Depp, awesome actor. Helena Bonham Carter, another great actress who plays as Bellatrix Lestrange in Harry Potter series. But yeah, I don't mind it, I don't mind those kind of cheesy kind of animated kind of slash horror films, or whatever we call it, or children's kind of films. So yeah, here's a film that I remember watching with I think it was with my sister at the time, The Craft. Guys, I'm actually embarrassed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Like, we all have a female actress crush when we're kids or when we're young. Mine was Fairuza Balk. It's crazy to say that she was actually my crush, my celebrity crush or actress crush. Yeah, I didn't mind this horror film. It's great, like, I like it because it's. Here's the truth: if there wasn't Charmed, the series, there wouldn't be The Craft, and it was The Craft that inspired that series to be made. So you have The Craft, so you have great cast. I mean, you have Neve or Nev Campbell from the Scream franchise. Obviously, Robin Tunney. I don't know what kind of film she did. Then you have, I think, Rachel True. I think that's Robin Tunney. I think the guard on the far right is Rachel True. But yeah, you have a great film. And then you have Fairuza Balk. Awesome, awesome kind of witch kind of horror film. Everyone grew up watching this. 100% believe that. Hocus Pocus. Can't go without Hocus Pocus. Awesome film as we grew up watching when we were kids. Again, our childhood, nostalgia. It may not done well in cinemas, but it's still nostalgia. Yeah, Hocus Pocus. I remember every October, every Halloween, I used to stick this on. And it's funny because that tradition, I still keep doing it all these years. I mean, I was what, 5 or 6 years old and I saw this on TV. I used to always record it. And when I got the DVD, like even now, like even since last year, I still watch this every time, every time. So I'm gonna put that aside until put, you know. So here's OG Beetlejuice, another good kind of horror film. So yeah, you have Michael Keaton, and I think that's Alec Baldwin in the glasses. But yeah, proper, proper kind of horror comedy slash, good film. Really good film. So I'm actually going to put Hocus Pocus there. So yeah, and then you have the sequel to Beetlejuice. So it's Beetlejuice. I think that came out last year, was it? Or 2024, but it's a good horror film. Although I will admit, sorry, 2024 when it came out, so I think it was 2 years ago. I will admit though, guys, I wasn't really too sold on this. I mean, yeah, it's a sequel, and you have what's her actress name? Trying to think of her name. Rewanda Ryder, but still, and you have Michael Keaton there, so it's okay. I prefer the original, the first one. Now I'll say this much: Tom Hanks. I have a few films with Tom Hanks, but I always go back to this, The Green Mile. It's my favorite film from Tom Hanks because it's about a black man who was accused of killing and raping these two girls, and he didn't. But he was like closer to God because like the poor man here, aka the late Michael Clark Duncan. His character in that film, for such a big guy, he had such a great, such a nice heart. Like always kind. But in this, he used to heal people, and such an awesome film, such an emotional film when you watch it and you see him dying at the end of it. Like I'm 32 years old nearly, and I do get emotional when I watch this film. But it does. It's an awesome film. It's an amazing film. Now we're into the good stuff. So obviously, for anyone who likes Alien or the Alien saga or Alien franchise, I have Alien Romulus. Now this film I thought was pretty cool. I mean, I remember watching this. I never went to see it in cinema, unfortunately, but I had to get this DVD last year, and yeah, I watched it, and my God, so many jump scares in this film. Like I wasn't expecting it, and let's just say that when I watched it, like I was just sitting here in my room watching this DVD, and I had the lights off, obviously. I nearly pissed myself, without a shred of a doubt, because there's so many jump scares. I actually did. Cringy as it sounds, funny as it sounds, but yeah, that's true. But awesome film, awesome film. And now, so I'll go to the sequel to Paranormal Activity 2. I didn't mind this one. I liked it because it showed kind of sort of like a possession kind of thing where the mother got possessed and the sister of the one in the first film. But yeah, something to do with the child anyway, like the spirit, like, and it's something to do with the family. You have Katie and then you have Christy. I think Katie's the one that's in the first film. Christy's in this one. But yeah, it's good horror, good kind of found footage kind of horror film. Not gonna deny that, like, if it's crap or anything, but yeah, I like it. So let's see. Here we go. Now, guys, I actually have the Blade trilogy. So here's the first one. I think it's 97, 98. If there's a date on it. Fortunately, there's not. But yeah, around the late 90s. Here's what I think, and I do believe this. So the Marvel films you see like in the 2000s, like Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Hulk, I actually think it was this film, Blade, that made that kind of Marvel cinematic, well, not cinematic universe, but Marvel in general, awesome. Wesley Snipes as Blade. No one can ever play Blade, in my opinion. Like even it was class to see him and like reprising his roles in like Wolverine first or Deadpool versus Wolverine. But yeah, savage. Love that film. Then you had the sequel, Blade 2. Again, Wesley Snipes in an awesome film. Although it was pretty cool. I mean, it was slightly longer than the first one, which is pretty decent. But yeah, it was cool to see Blade fight. And a guy who was like oh god, I can't remember, Reaper, I think they were called. The guy who was bad, like, he's a Reaper. It's like he's basically like a vampire, like a kind of like an uber vamp or something that eats kills other vampires, and yeah, that was pretty cool. And then you have Blade Trinity. Now this film pretty decent, like, except the only flaw I don't like about this film is that they had your man playing Dracula, and I think the name of the actor who played Dracula was Dominic something. I think his name was Dominic something, if I can remember right. I wasn't too sold on this one. I mean, it's good, it's funny. You have Jessica Biel, you know. I think she played Chris Christopherson's daughter, like Whistler, I should say, his character Whistler. She played Abigail. Then Ryan Reynolds in the right plays as Hannibal King, and he's funny as, you know, like as hell. And he keeps pissing Blade off, which is funny, and it's cool to see them two reprising the roles. I mean, obviously Blade reprises the role in Wolverine Deadpool, and of course him being Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds. But yeah, pretty good film, awesome. Now this film, like, even the cast looks awesome. Bruce Campbell, and, you know, awesome. This film, The Evil Dead. Here's the thing, right? It's so many jump scares, and the way he tries to kill these people who are possessed by demons is so. I just find it funny. It's like they're getting their arms chopped off, their hands chopped off, their fucking heads chopped off, and they're still going laughing at them, tormenting, like, and pissing them off. What's funny? They serve them bangs, but it's funny as fuck. But yeah, I just love it. I just like it. And this one I have is the full uncut version, uncut. So pretty much, it's gory. It's gory. Then I have, of course, Marvel. And for those who don't know, my favorite Marvel franchise of all is X-Men. So I had to have Logan. Hugh Jackman. This was cool because it was like a different kind of dynamic than you would normally see. So it's basically like Wolverine kind of getting old, and his adamantium is slowly killing him, and he doesn't realize that that is his daughter. So she's a mutant like him. I think it's X-23. But yeah, good cast. Yeah, Patrick Stewart as well, playing as Xavier. But I love the X-Men films. They're my favorite franchise. And then to go back to horror, Annabelle comes home. This was pretty decent. I mean, it wasn't too bad, you know. So many kind of weird things happened in this film, though, which I wasn't sold on. I mean, you have a werewolf, then you have a woman who wears this dress, I think, and she gets possessed. Like, it's based in the Warren's house in their museum, and yeah, the daughter, and I think it's the daughter's babysitter, who's trying to rid the demon or whatever it is, like, and like you have so many of these characters in this that's kind of creepy, meant to be haunted objects that the Warrens had in their museum, but it was decent for an animal film, but I wouldn't say it was my favourite now. But it's okay. Of course, The Nun 2, which was not bad. I mean, at least you've seen the possession. I mean, yeah, it's a sequel to obviously the first one, which I actually do have the first one somewhere. But yeah, I mean, it felt like half of all the horror films you see now, I felt like it was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. But yeah, there you are. Unfortunately, I've never seen the whole of True Blood series, but here's the first season. Didn't mind, you know. I think they made this like kind of like sort of like Buffy kind of franchise, Buffy Vampire Slayer kind of franchise, the way they have it, like with their vampires and werewolves and stuff. But sorry, it's decent, you know. Could be worse, but it's not too bad. Fortunately, never seen the album. And then I actually think this is my favorite Annabelle film, Annabelle Creation. So how Annabelle became to be, like, so it's based on obviously a girl who got tragically killed called Annabelle Higgins, and yeah, I think the husband and the wife were that depressed and that sad that they missed their daughter so much that they tried. So they made it kind of like they thought they were like getting their daughter back, the spirit of her daughter, but unfortunately it was a demon. And yeah, it's class like that. This is the very prequel to the whole lot. You know, I think it's savage. You know, it really is. It shows exactly what Annabelle. Creepy, but class, savage. And then, like the last X-Men film that came out, Dark Phoenix, which I remember seeing this in the cinema. It was good. It was really good. Good X-Men film, Dark Phoenix. But Jean Grey in this, I mean, the Dark Phoenix was kind of a bit weird. It would have been cool if she wore the iconic like Dark Phoenix suit, from the comics and the cartoon and X Men. But yeah, sorry, it could be worse. But it's decent. I like the way it has a different dynamic than the other ones. But yeah, good film, good film. And then of course, 2013, the Wolverine, based in Japan. And this was pretty cool. I mean, I remember seeing this with my brothers and my sister, and it's funny. Like, I remember we went to see this film. Me said my brother loved it. My sister couldn't watch it because it was too violent, too bloody for, like, it's 12s, right? But it might as well be 15s. But I think it's savage. Based in Japan, Wolverine, obviously, he gets his claws chopped off by the sword, an adamantium sword. And of course, his original claws come back. But I think it's a class film. I'm not going to put it down. I think it's an epic film. And here's another good horror film that is all like the first Nun film. Now, in that case, it's epic and it's awesome. I mean, look at that. The old, the first Nun film. I prefer this one than the second one, to be honest with you. Creepy as hell, like Valak. It's a demon, but my god, even the actress who plays Valak, it's creepy that she even, I'm not being bad, but my god, she looks creepy, the actual actress, I think, in my opinion. But yeah, definitely a worth watching film around Halloween time, I think. And then I have the last Conjuring film that came out last year, The Last Rites. Now, I think for our last film at The Conjuring, they should have went out with a bang, but this one wasn't bad. It was like it was rushed. I feel like it was rushed, personally. I think it could have been better. It could have been more. I mean, they could have went out like with a bang, like with a good scare, like, but for a final chapter of this film, I wish it was longer, slightly longer than the other ones, but beggars can't be choosers. But yeah, it was good. Can't get wrong with the Conjuring films. Now, I have a few Irish DVDs. So, me being from Ireland, I gotta show you a few Irish DVDs. So, here, a funny comedy film called Snapper. And for any person who's from Ireland, probably seen this film, or maybe those from the UK probably saw this as well. Of course, the girl had, that, like, had, what, with an older person, got pregnant, and of course, she's embarrassed by her family and all. She's 20 years old. Sharon Curley, 20 years old, not 20 20 years old, sorry, my bad. But yeah, it's funny. The father, Colin Meaney, absolute funny actor. Like, he make you piss yourself laughing. It's funny the way that he carries on. But yeah, awesome film. And then I actually have another film with him in it, Colin Meaney, called The Van. I think that came out before. So obviously you have, this guy called Bimbo, his friend in the film called Bimbo, to come up with obviously a chipper van called Bimbo's Burgers, and it's so funny for anyone who ever seen this film. It was one of those films that's just crack you laughing. It's just pure funny. And then I have an Irish film as well with two actors who are Irish. So you have Brendan Gleeson, Colin Farrell in Rouge. Every time I watch this film, it cracks me up. It's funny as well, Colin Farrell is hilarious, and then Colin Meaney as well. Oh yeah, I forgot Ralph Fiennes is in this as well. The man who played Voldemort in the Harry Potter franchise. Funny as hell, The way he cracks up and goes mad is so funny. And the way he acts is like a complete gobshite. I'm just going to say, like, I'm Irish, gobshite. But the way it carries on is just so funny. And of course, him calling me being Mr. Nice Guy, obviously it's violent, it's 18s, but it's just one of those films that's just funny as well, You have a laugh at. Now, here's something for any person who's from Ireland that loves this series. Love hate. We all know what it's about, gangland, drugs, hanky-panky stuff, ganglands and stuff. But my god, I actually liked this. I remember watching it on the Irish channel, RT1. Had to get to Stephen O'Sina. You can see that's kind of faded. I mean, that's how much I paid for it, €28. I absolutely love that series. Brilliant, Definitely the best Irish series I ever seen so far. That's both drama and stuff, so yeah. So I'm gonna put that here. Guys, there's the series I have so far. It's a good lot. I'm not done yet. So here's my vampire kind of DVD. So Interview with the Vampire, an all-star cast: Tom Cruise, Antonio Banderas, Brad Pitt, a young Kirsten Dunst, Stephen Rea, who's actually from Ireland. I think he's from Northern Ireland, is it? Or something like that. And an Irish guy who came up with Christian Slater. Like, you have a great cast in this. I like it because it has that kind of vampire vibe, like, vibe. I mean, you have your man Tom Cruise being, it's like almost like Buffy in a way when you think about Spike and Angel. I always said that this film kind of reminds me of Spike and Angel. So, like, when you watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and then when you see them showing Spike and Angel talking, and it dates back there when you see, like, Spike being known as William back then when he was human. And then you have Angel, who was known as Liam. So yeah, it kind of has that dynamic. So, like, when I look at Brad Pitt in this, he reminds me of Spike, and when I look at Brad Pitt, he reminds me of William. Now, for Antonio Banderas, it's like a Spanish kind of. He reminds me like a Spanish kind of Dracula. Sleek, kind of nice mannered, but still trying to entice you, still trying to get you to join them. I think in his vampire kind of lifestyle. Then I have another Dracula film, one with Frank and Langella. Now, obviously, this one it has that kind of horror dynamic about Dracula, but kind of more is best in his, the way he's sensual, the way he's romantic and charismatic, Like, in a sort of different twist to Dracula, as we all know. But yeah, Frank Langella, or Langella, as everyone called him. I didn't mind it. It's good for 1979, I think this film came out. Yeah, 1979. So it's decent kind of Dracula kind of version. Now, here's one for the 90s that people like. Bram Stoker's Dracula. An all-star cast. Gary Oldman, Winona Ryder, Anthony Hopkins, and Keanu Reeves. Of all the Draculas, everyone else says that this is the best one that came out. The best redemption is the word, I think it is. Or adaptation. Adaptation, it's a hard word to say. Sorry, guys. I'm getting gibberish with me words. But yeah, this is actually a class vampire film. I always love watching this around Halloween. Hell, I watch any horror films in general. I wouldn't care what time it is of the year, I'll still watch it. Brilliant, And I like the way they have that kind of dramatic kind of style of Dracula. It's like you see him as different versions. You see him as like a kind of like a werewolf. You see him as old, obviously, and like a bat figure. Then you see him younger. It's cool you have different versions of him in this film. Keanu Reeves, though, everyone always says this, and it's so true. Him trying to play, they could put on an English accent, doesn't work. It just sounds butchered. Sounds, to be honest, sounds shit. But yeah, at least fair play to the guy. He tried his best to play English like Jonathan Harker, Then Anthony Hawkins as Abraham Van Helsing. I think that was a good actually move by your man like Francis Coppola. That was a good choice of him to play that. And then I have an OG classic, and obviously it's based on the Dracula, the all-style Dracula. So you have Bela Lugosi in this. So you have the Dracula film. Then you have Dracula's daughter, Son of Dracula, House of Frankenstein, and House of Dracula. Like, I don't mind. I mean, yeah, it may be dating back from 1931 to 1945, but still, it's a good kind of classic horror film that anyone should watch around Halloween time. Like, it may look old and it may not look a bit, it may look like meh, but it's good. I think it's good kind of it's a good kind of like horror film to watch around Halloween. It's instant, it's not violent, Then you have Vampire in Brooklyn, Eddie Murphy. I will apologise for the sticker being ripped here, guys. It's just, for some reason, I remember when I bought this DVD, right? I think I got it in some store. The person that I got it from, he never explained why that was ripped off. Like, he gave it to me, but he never told me why he's ripped. He actually sold it to me like this, so it's strange, but yeah. I'll still watch it. It's funny because it's creepy and scary and funny, but Eddie Murphy was actually pretty decent as a vampire. Maximilian. Although one's character was a pain in the backside. I think it's Angela Bassett. I didn't like her character in the film. It was kind of annoying, proper American cop. I didn't like her in it, but it was funny. Even the sidekick, or sorry, this you man's the Kent psychic Dracula or Maximilian was funny because his ear falls off, his eyes falls out, his finger gets chopped off. Like it's funny though with the way it happens, but it's good kind of horror film slash comedy. You know, it's funny. Eddie Murphy, classic. He was a cool vampire and that, charismatic and funny. Then I have The Lost Boys. We all watched this, haven't we? We all have watched it some stage. I mean, 1987, but good horror film. And they tell me now this. Sorry, guys, trying to get me breath. Kiefer Sutherland played an awesome vampire in this. I thought it was cool. He just looked totally badass. It was cool. Yeah, The Lost Boys. Definitely a cool vampire film, in my opinion. And yeah, I have Underworld. Of all the Underworld series, my favorite one was the first one. I just thought it was cool. I mean, you seen Michael Corvin getting turned into a hybrid vampire, but what's her name? Kate Beckinsale actually was badass and totally savage in this film. You know, Underworld. I actually love this film. It's just proper 18s, like proper horror, proper vampire versus werewolves kind of film. It was just so cool, but yeah, that's just savage. And now my last vampire film, guys, or should I say, Van Helsing. I really, really do hope to make a sequel to this film. I really do, because, you know, Hugh Jackman was as savage as Van Helsing. But pretty cool vampire hunter. I mean, you had different horror figures. You had Mr. Hyde in the first bit in the film. Then you had the Wolfman. Then you have Frankenstein. Then you have the Vampire Brides. And then you have Dracula. So you had a mixture. And then you have a creepy looking scientist guy called Igor. I think his name's Igor. But yeah, it's class. You had a mixture of all these in it. I mean, then you see the hybrid vampire. Dracula in his truest form. Then you see Van Helsing been turned into a werewolf. I mean, the look of the vampire here, like, totally awesome. I thought it was a good film for being in 2004. It was class. I still watch it. Then I have kind of I actually thought it was pretty good for kind of one of those films that's kind of based on like if the war was about to end. You know, may sound creepy, but yeah, Nolan was a good film. I mean, the amount of things that happened in this film, it was gripping. You know, it was crazy. I mean, like unexpected things kept happening. And Nicolas Cage's character was pretty good because he was finding out dates of events that was about to happen. I mean, you see a plane crash, then I think a train tunnel or something that caused an accident or something, and then at the end of it, the solo race, like that bit was creepy. But yeah, good film, very good film. Now, Daniel Radcliffe, what will I say about him in this film? Good kind of proper horror kind of film. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is meant to be like a remake, kind of a comeback of the Hammer Horror series. Hammer Horror? Yeah, Hammer Horror, sorry guys. But yeah, Daniel Radcliffe was good in this kind of horror, kind of haunting film. The Woman in Black. Really good. Another film that's Tim Burton is, we all know, Edward Scissorhands. And Johnny Depp wasn't bad and it was decent, you know. Pretty decent film. I'm not going to say it was crap or say it was bad. It was decent for a good kind of film. I wouldn't say horror. Yeah, but I thought it was decent, you know. I'm not gonna say it was bad. Yeah, really good. Really good. What can I say about this Rocky Horror Picture? Rocky! It's funny, you know. You have like Richard O'Brien, then you have Tim Curry, you know, funny as Frankenfurter. You know, then you have Meatloaf in this. I still laugh at this film. It's funny, it's cheesy, it's not really horror, it's just, you know, it's funny in its own way, and it's iconic. And I always laugh, I always watch it. You know, I'm not going to say it was crap, I always find it funny. I mean, look at the state of him. I suppose that's probably a bad term to say, but it's funny to say that he actually did this, and he was in his 20s, in his late 20s, if I remember right. I seen like an interview video on YouTube of him talking about he was actually 27 or 28 when he played that role. Poor guy. But yeah, funny enough, decent. Now, I mentioned about Hammer Horror. Guys, This is gonna be heavy in my hand, but yeah, I'm gonna try my best. Hammer Horror Collection. So there's like 21 discs in this. So different films of Hammer Horror. So, or Hammer Collection. So you have different kind of films. You have a few horror films. The Devil Rides Out, Dracula. Trying to think about it. One about zombies, I think. I can't think of anything else. But yeah. So this is. I just want to make sure, guys, I don't want to turn this over. So that's Christopher Lee's Dracula there. So this is pretty heavy in my hand, guys. So I want to be careful, and I think it's going to fall. So I'm going to be careful. So I'm going to put that down here. Ugh. To make sure nothing falls out, guys. Right. Then I have another kind of I wouldn't call it box set, but like an entire collection. So at the time, like this is Saw. So 1 to this is 6, 5. So 1 to 5. So Saw. Obviously gruesome, obviously rough. Make your stomach turn if you had a weak stomach. I didn't mind, you know. It was decent for a horror film. It wouldn't say my favourite, but it was decent, you know. Could be worse, but well. It is what it is, guys. But yeah, that's Saw 1 to 5. Pretty decent. And we all know Rocky. Yes, I had to put tape in it, guys, because the box, you know, had this long. This was actually one of the old box of DVDs I had for years when I was young. So obviously over time it kind of tears, so you see it there. But yeah, I had to put tape to keep it on. But yeah, all the Rocky series you have 1 to 6. I don't mind, you know. My favourite one's Rocky 3 and 4. But yeah, Stallone was just epic, and then you had Mr. T. You know, you had Dolph Lundgren. You had Carol Weathers. And I think Tommy Morrison was the guy who was playing Tommy Gunn in the 5th one. He was a bit of a, you know, he was okay, but the other ones were just iconic. But yeah. Now, for people who are mad at Harry Potter, yes, I do have the entire Harry Potter film. I mean, when I was young, right, when I was a kid, I used to never really like Harry Potter films. I remember, like, I used to be like, Harry Potter's crap when I was a kid, but I think in my teens I started liking Harry Potter. Once I turned 13 or 14, I started giving it a watch, and yeah, so I said, you know what, I'm going to buy a Harry Potter box at some stage in my life, they complete, so it's all 8 films. I don't care, like, to me, like, you have Lord of the Rings, right? You have Lord of the Rings, Star Wars. To me, I think Harry Potter is around that kind of thing. I mean, being nostalgia, you know. We all grew up watching Harry Potter. I assume we all did. I think it's pretty good. It's good in its time, you know. Now, my favourite Batman of all, the Dark Knight trilogy. I think Christian Bale was pretty cool as Batman, as Bruce Wayne. I mean, the only thing that was annoying about him is that, like, he was slow in the suit. But other than that, like, it was awesome. Like, had Batman Begins, the Dark Knight with the late Heath Ledger, who, without a shred of a doubt, is the best Joker. Second to him, I think, is Jack Nicholson, but Heath Ledger made that Joker iconic. And then you have the Dark Knight Rises with, what's that guy's name? Played Bane. What's his name? Tom Hardy was pretty cool as Bane. I mean, I think it was class, you know. Yeah, awesome film. Awesome film. And then this is a box set that I got a while ago, and for the life of me, I think it's the Ultimate Horror Collection. So, yeah. So you have different horror films. You have The Blair Witch Project, Dog Soldiers, The Sin Eater, Creep, the original Omen film from the 25th anniversary, sorry, From Hell, Death Watch, 28 Days Later, Jeepers Creeps 2, Jeepers Creepers 2, then The Wrong Turn. But yeah, like, I actually have to admit, I think the few of them that's in this box as my favorite is Dog Soldiers. I have to go for Dog Soldiers, The Wrong Turn, and The Omen, I should say, because I didn't mind it. It was good for a horror film. I mean, the kid was a creepy little kid. You know what I mean? With the 666 symbol on the back of his head. And then that eerie music you hear in the film. But yeah, Dog Soldiers was pretty cool. I mean, you had these British Army, and then werewolves. You know, I think that was cool. And in the Scottish Highlands, if I remember right. Jeepers Creepers 2, I think was good. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to lean. So yeah, Jeepers Creepers 2, you had the creeper in the second one, and I love the way like that part where you see him, like he rips this guy's head off with his wing, and then the guy's head is inside his stomach, and it comes out his stomach or something, or it comes up through from his stomach up through his neck, and he ends up having a new head. And I think that's a savage scene in Jeepers Creepers 2. And then the wrong turn, you know, you have what's her that actress name? See her? Sorry, it was the camera angles bad, guys. I can't think of that actress's name. I forget her name. You know the guy. You know the guys. This is the one who played Fate in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I think she's last in that. It's good for creepy kind of horror film, you know. Really good, really good. Now, guys, do you think that was the end of my video? Hell no. I have Blu-ray DVDs too. Let me get to my Blu-ray DVDs right now, guys. Okay, everyone. So here's my Blu-ray DVDs. I have a list of a good few here. So this is all my Blu-ray DVDs at the moment I have. So the very first one is Nightmare on Elm Street. It's all 7 films. You know, Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. Funny, creepy, and just class, like proper A's horror film, you know. Nightmare on Elm Street. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Iconic. Now, this is kind of a weird kind of possession film. Apparently, it's based on true. It's about a cop who's obviously skeptic, and he witnesses like demonic and scenes of demonic possession and stuff. Yeah, it's called Delivers from Hell. Eric Bana, good actor. And as you can see, it says from the director of Sinister and the Exorcism of Emily Rose. Now, I thought this wasn't bad. It was weird. I will say it was weird, but it wasn't a bad wasn't a bad kind of horror film in its day, you know. I'm not sure when it came out actually, to be honest with you guys. Oh, either 2014 or 2015, but I didn't mind it. Delivers from Evil. Good title. Then I have an action film, as you know, Expendables trilogy. I wasn't too keen on the later ones. I mean, I think it's from, what was it, number 4? I wasn't keen on Expendables 4. I mean, Expendables was a good film, decent. They had all star actors in it. The only one I dislike, and I will say I hated, was the third one. But the first and second one were pretty cool. I mean, Gunner was funny in it, like, you know, Dolph Lundgren, and then you have Terry Crews. I can't think of his name in the. Yeah, Jet Li. You had Stone Cold in the first one. You had what's that name? Randy Couture, who used to be MMA. You know, Stallone was pretty cool in that. You know, for a guy who's a good age, like look at the size of him. Look, you know, like he's still buff. He's still a savage actor. And then I still have horror films. So I have Annabelle. You know, really, really creepy doll. But yeah, a good horror film, you know. I'm not going to say it was crap. I didn't mind it. I thought it was cool. The doll was creepy as hell in that film. But it's cool the way they done it, you know. James Wan, the director, came up with the Conjuring series and the Annabelle series. And I think the Nun as well. He did a good job, guys, with his horror films. He really did. His horror franchise, I should say. He really did a good job, guys. So put that there. Then I have The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. As we all know, them films are based on true. So this one's based on Arnie Johnson, the guy who, you know, who saved, who actually let the demon come into him after, I think it was David Glotzel was the name of the kid who the demonic spirit was inside. And of course, Arnie Johnson, you know, called and provoked. They said, "Get out of this kid and come into me." And we all know what happened. He killed someone. He killed like a landlord. Eric Bono is the name of the guy he killed. He's a landlord. But yeah, this is based on that film, The Devil Made Me Do It, and especially the case, the famous, infamous trial that actually used possession in the case, court case. But we all know what happened. But yeah, decent Conjuring film. Here's something for you guys. This iconic film, The Exorcist. Now, we all know what this is like. So this one I have, right? It has the extended director's cut from 2000. Then the OG original theatrical cut from 1973, and then obviously third disc is special features. So yeah, 3 discs. You can't go wrong. I mean, proper scary, creepy possession film of all time, in my opinion. Really cool, you know. I remember watching this when I was a child. Like, and here's like amazing surprise. I was 5 years old when I remember seeing this pop up on the TV like every Halloween. I was 5 years old, right? I remember, I think it was my sisters at the time were watching this film, and my older brothers. No, it was my sisters at the time were watching this on TV. Like when it was on Halloween night, I kept trying to peek through the keyhole like in the door in the sitting room, and I don't know what happened. I think I actually banged my head off the door because I was trying to be sneaking. I actually made noise, and they were like, "Kate, go to bed. You're too young. You can't watch the film. It's too scary." Oh yeah, it scared the crap out of me. 5 years old. I remember. I literally remember being afraid to sleep in the dark because I had the light on, or I was that afraid I literally would go into the cupboard and thinking that I'm safe. The devil can't get me. The possessed girl can't get me. you know, the crazy things you did when you were a kid. But yeah, still love this film. Always watch it. And then I have one based on, I think this one is based on Annalise Michel, The Exorcism of Emily Rose. And this one, I will admit, like, even this one's the unseen version. Even if I watch this to this day, guys, it still gives me chills. I can't think of the name of the actress who played her, but Jennifer Carpenter, who was in The White Chicks. She is creepy as hell in this film. But yeah, really good horror film. But my god, it always chills me to the bone. Like, I'm 32 years old nearly in a couple of months. But if I watch this film, I still get chills. Like, I still get goosebumps. But really good horror film. Really good horror film. Not gonna deny it. My favourite film from Liam Neeson is this, The Grey. As you know, he's like, I think he's a hunter or something like that, or I forget. Like, he kills werewolves. Like, he shoots werewolves, or not werewolves, regular wolves. Sorry, my bad. Just normal wolves, or you know what I mean, who are rabid. Like, who just kill people. Rogue wolves, as it says here in the case. Awesome film. In my opinion, I think it's his best film here. I mean, obviously you have Taken, then you have Unknown, and obviously people know him from Episode 1 of Star Wars, The Phantom Menace. But without a doubt, The Grey is my favorite one of his films that he ever made, in my opinion. You know. Although I wasn't too keen on the Naked Gun remake that he did, but other than that, it was good. Then I have what's this? The Last Exorcism Part 2, which it was okay, you know. Eli Roth came up with these films, the first one, the second one. It was alright, you know. And there were some parts I was chilling. I will admit, that had like, it was eerie kind of film, you know, really chill. Well, you know, I'm not going to say it was crap or bad. It was decent for its horror film and for kind of a possession film. But yeah, that's The Last Exorcism Part 2, guys. And then I have which one is this? I think this is the first. No, is this which one's this one? I'm trying to think which one. This is the Final Destination, guys. I think this is either the. Yeah, it's just called the Final Destination. So I'm not sure this is the fourth one or the third one. I think it's the fourth one. Yeah, this wasn't bad, guys. It was pretty decent. It was funny. I mean, you know, the scene, the way they get killed, and that is mental and crazy. But I just find it pretty funny the way they die. I mean, it's just unnecessary. It's just the way it happens, and they're trying to cheat you, trying to cheat that. Guys, that's a hard way to say. Keep getting rambled up my words. Or sorry about that, but yeah, it's alright, you know, for Final Destination. In Bloodlines, the original, I think it's Bloodlines or something. The original one's called, or not the original one, but the new one that came out, or the most recent one. Yeah, here's The Conjuring, or sorry, Ouija. Bit creepy film. I mean, you know, had something to do with a Ouija board. It was strange, or really odd, but yeah, not going to say it was bad. It was decent, you know, good kind of horror film. What you expect. I mean, look. So when I'm talking about, if you can see the way, what's the way the hand moves, look. See the planchette and the hand moves. That's savage, isn't it? Pretty cool. And then I have a film where kind of an all-star cast. You had Leonardo DiCaprio, Daniel Day-Lewis, who was actually Ireland, from Ireland. Then Cameron Diaz and gangs in New York. I actually didn't mind this one. It was pretty cool in its day, you know. I thought it was cool. I mean, yeah, it's violent, it's rough. I think it's class. Like, I never seen that. I never actually saw this film when I was a kid, but I remember when I bought this DVD, it was the very first time I watched it. Like, I had this DVD from, I think I was 18 years old and I bought this back in 2013. So I had this DVD for a good few years. So yeah, there's a lot of dents on the case, but yeah, it's a good film, you know. Still works, thank God. Now, my favourite Mel Gibson film of all time of his films is The Patriot. Had to get The Patriot. Long film, my God, it's long. It's like it's like 100, it was approximately 170 minutes. Like, it's just awesome. Proper American war film. But the Red Coats, I think it is. It's cool. I mean, you have like, you know, you have a good cast. I mean, you have obviously Mel Gibson, Heath Ledger, the late Heath Ledger, I should say. Jason Isaacs, who guys played Lucius Malfoy in the Harry Potter franchise. You know, love that film. It's my favourite Mel Gibson film of all time. Then I have another Daniel Day-Lewis film called Lincoln. I mean, I didn't mean this film. It was good, you know. It was decent because it's based on Abraham Lincoln. I actually have a funny thing to tell these guys. When myself and my brother went to see this in cinema, I remember there was a guy that came into cinema. I don't know how he got in. He was drinking. He had a flask, and of course he was drinking alcohol. And every scene you see a man making a speech, he kept laughing or farting, this lad. And I swear to God, it's true. Myself and brother just couldn't stop laughing. Like, we pissed ourselves laughing. But yeah, Lincoln's decent, you know. I don't know if this was Daniel Day-Lewis's last film, but he looked this part. He did. He looked like Abraham Lincoln. It's good. Let's see. This is their. I think. Hold on. I think this is the. Yeah, this is their OG Poltergeist. Everyone remembers Poltergeist from the 80s. Creepy for the way it looked. Creepy with the TV, and then you see the hands popping up, and like, yeah, had to have the OG Poltergeist film. I still watch it, like, every time they show, like, every time they call me or whatever, I still watch it. Pretty cool film, really good film, guys. I do apologise for the way I sound, guys. My throat's a bit raspy because I have a bit of sore throat, but yeah. Conjuring 2, based on the Enfield case in England. Yeah, definitely was a good one. Good sequel to the first Conjuring, which I'm going to show next. Yeah, like, that was pretty cool. I thought it was a good film. To be honest with you, I think that's the best one they made of all the Conjuring series. That was the best one they made. It's proper scary, like unexpected scenes they popped up, you know. And then in special features, it tells you about the Enfield poltergeist living hard, actual story. But yeah, good film. I mean, this was what, 2016 when it came out in cinemas. Yep, 2016. Called it right, bang on the dot. Good film. And then of course you have the first one, 2013, The Conjuring, which was creepy, which is also based on a true story. It's based on the. Trying to think on which family was it. If I know my paranormal and me, you know, me things like that, I forget what film it's based on. The Parent family. This was based on. Yeah, creepy as hell. Definitely was a good film in 2013. Without a shred of doubt. Really good horror film. Still watch it. Then I had to show it X-Men. So this is my favourite. So I have X-Men, all of them. So it's X-Men to 1 to the First Class. Cool Blu-ray box set. I mean, you know, it's cool. I mean, X-Men is my favourite Marvel franchise of all. Like, of all the films, like, you have Spider-Man, you have Hulk, whatever. I always go to X-Men. It's just my favourite. But yeah, pretty cool. I mean, Blu-ray, so I have that. Then I have Days of Future Past, which was okay. It could have been better, but was it 2014 just came out? It could have been better for an X-Men film. Like, it was okay, you know. I'm not gonna. It was decent. I mean, the cover looks cool. I mean, I love the way the cover looks and the shine of it. So, you know, I'm not gonna say it was a bad X-Men film, but it could have been better, guys. It could have been better. And then I have Apocalypse, which I think Apocalypse in this was pretty cool. I mean, I think my favorite part in this film was pretty much when you see I think that's Archangel there in the far right. It's like when you see the scene where he gets the steel wings, and I remember watching that scene. You hear Metallica's. I think it's trying to think of the song of Metallica. I think it's Four Horsemen is the song you hear in that scene. Pretty cool film. I thought it was good. I mean, a lot of people don't like this one actually, but I thought it was pretty cool the way it looked. I mean, Apocalypse was the actor who played Apocalypse. I think his name is Oscar Isaacs. Is the actor who played Apocalypse, but I thought it was pretty cool the way it looked. You know, I thought it was cool. And then you have like, for those who don't know if they've ever seen this film, there's a small kind of cameo scene of Hugh Jackman reprising his role as Wolverine, but except it's Wolverine as Weapon X, so he still has the thing on his head, like the scientific things, or what you call them, the yoke, to make him look like the ultimate weapon or something like that. But it's pretty cool. So I'm gonna put this on top here. For those who don't know, I like The Hobbit and I like the Lord of the Rings franchise. So here I have the Blu-ray on its own of The Unexpected Journey. Pretty cool, you know. Didn't mind it. It was good. I remember I went to see this in 2013 with my brothers. Very first time I ever watching a prequel of the Lord of the Rings, so it's pretty cool. And then I have the Battle of Five Armies, which was pretty cool as well. You know, I just love that cover in the case. It's just class. I remember actually went to see this. Like I think when I was working at the time, I think, or when I had a job. Was it? I forget. I can't remember. But I remember I actually saw this in cinema. I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, cool war at the end of it. You know, the Battle of Five Armies. I thought it was pretty decent. You know, really good. And then I have the extended version of Lord of the Rings trilogy, you know. Now, I'm guessing a lot of people have seen the extended version before, but yeah, obviously there's extra bits like the late scenes shown. So like the way it's done in this is you have one disc of it, the first bit, like from the film, half of it, and then the second bit. So cool, you know. I remember buying this, and this was actually a dear box set. I remember buying this back in 2000 and I think it was 2012, I think I bought this. I paid €70, €70 for this box set because I remember I bought this in Extra Vision. And like for some reason they're charging that dear like €70. You know what I mean? Like it's ridiculous for that, but I had to buy it because it just looks class. So I'm gonna try to put some in E. So yeah, like oh guys, like look at that. Sorry for the camera angle guys, but yeah. See that? It's like a map of Middle Earth. And then you have here is so they have the first extended version, Fellowship, then you have the second one, Two Towers, and the third, Return of the King. And that looks epic, doesn't it? You have Aragorn, Viggo Mortensen, you have Sean Astin as Samwise Gamgee, Frodo Baggins, Elijah Wood, Erwin, Liv Tyler, and then you have Gandalf, aka Ian McKellen. That's pretty cool and awesome. And yeah, I'm gonna say this. I remember watching this when I was a kid, and I wasn't too sold on these films actually. I think it was when I was 12 or 13 I started liking them. So the Fast and the Furious, all 6 films. So you have the first two Fast and Furious, the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, Fast and 5, Fast Furious 6. It was cool, you know. I like number 6 and number 5. I think the cars now are beast. I mean, your man's like Vin Diesel's muscle cars are beast in that film. Then I have Fast and Furious A. Have that one. It wasn't bad. Could have been better. I mean, the only thing that's funny in that is you have what's his name, Jason Statham in that. I think he was pretty cool. And then Charlize Theron was kind of a crap. She was crap in this one, but it was alright. You know, could have been better though. Now, for those who know, I'm into Mortal Kombat, so I had to get the animated version films of Mortal Kombat. So I have Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge. For an 18s animated film, absolutely phenomenal for like Mortal Kombat. I mean, it's class. Like that Ed Boon and Joe Tobias, I think John Tobias had something to do with the animated ones, but I think it's class. Yeah, it's animated, but my god, it's violent. It says here 18s. Strong, bloody violence and gore. What you want in Mortal Kombat, right? And that one's based actually in the tournament, the first one. Or the beginning of the tournament. And this one is another one, Mortal Kombat Legends Battle of the Realms, which is based on the tournament itself. So you have Shao Kahn versus Liu Kang. Epic. Still violent, still rough. But just pure savage the way it looks, guys. You know, I love them. I think they were my favourite anime once in Mortal Kombat. And here's the late 90s Mortal Kombat Annihilation. You know, Robin Shaw, will admit, is savage as Liu Kang. Like in the original, I think I have the first one somewhere. I forget where. I lost the case, guys, unfortunately, but I do have Mortal Kombat first one. But yeah, I think this one was a bit of a letdown, actually. Like, Robin Shaw's Liu Kang was pretty cool, you know. I mean, you have Shao Kahn in it, you know. Yeah, didn't mind it, you know. It was decent, you know. Could have been better, but for the first one, Tagawa, you know. Karaoke Tagawa as Shang Tsung was epic. Now, here's a classic for you all. The monsters. The Universal monsters. So you have Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy, the Invisible Man, the Bride of Frankenstein, the Wolf Man, the Phantom of the Opera, and the Creature of the Black Lagoon. I mean, look at that. I think that's pretty cool the way it looks. I mean, maybe old, but it just looks epic. See? It just looks cool, guys, for an old classic horror film. Oh yeah, here's the other Fast Furious 7. So here's Fast Furious 7. Obviously, I haven't got the case thing that goes over this as a still case, but I think it's pretty cool. I mean, yeah, I love that. Dodge Challenger in it, isn't it? Sorry for my language, isn't it? Fucking savage. It just looks cool, guys. Really cool. I mean, look at that. That's just a tall beast, and that's Dominic Toretto's car. Dom Toretto, as I call it. But yeah, pretty cool. And then I've Alien 6 film collection. So I have, let's see, I have Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection. Prometheus was a phenomenal film. You know, I love that film. Then you have Alien Covenant. So of all those films, I think the one that creeped the hell out of me was the first one, the OG first one. Gotta be the first one. But yeah, Prometheus, as I was saying, was just based. I just thought it was cool. Explains a lot, you know. As you know, I did show you the Alien Covenant film, which unfortunately don't have a Blu-ray, but I have a regular. But yeah, really gone to Alien franchise. Pretty cool, pretty creepy. But yeah, you have to make, guys, look at the case. I think they're called xenomorphs. My god, that's class. You have different versions of them. There's a small one. It's like it's like small, growing, creepier, getting bigger. What the F? You know what I mean? But yeah, pretty cool. And this one is kind of like a cheesy kind of comedy drama film or something like that, as you call it. It's, yeah, well, comedy more, so it's Pain and Gain. So yeah, Mark Wahlberg, which was pretty annoying, this film, I think. Then you have Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and it was okay, you know, both guys who gone to weightlifting and all, personal trainers, and they end into dodgy stuff and take drugs and stuff, you know, the bad crap. They get basically into criminal enterprises, but it's funny the way the things that happen, and The Rock's pretty cool, and, you know, Dwayne Johnson's pretty cool, but yeah, didn't mind it, it was decent, you know, Pain and Gain. Laugh at me all you want, guys. Yes, I know. I had to get the 2000, and I think it's 2016, is it? Yeah, 2016 Suicide Squad. And of course, we all know why. Margaret Robbie is hot as hell in that film. As Hardy Quinn. So you had obviously William Smith. Yeah, Jared, that was the Joker, which I think he's crap in that. But yeah, it's good. I didn't mind it. It was funny. It's decent. I guess some bits that's like it's funny and all. But it wasn't a bad DC kind of film. You know, it wasn't bad. Didn't mind it. I had to get it since I had the Batman Dark Knight, so I said, why not get this one? Might as well get this. Top 3 decent. I wasn't saying it's great, but it was decent. Of all the films, I think Leonardo DiCaprio did. I think this is his best one, The Revenant. Just class. I think it's best in true, actually. Yeah, so his character in this is called Hugh Glass. Obviously, he gets injured by a bear, brutally attacked by a bear, and near left to dead. The people that are with him betray him, so Tom Hardy, his hunting team, I should say, he betrays him. I think at the end he kills him. But yeah, I love the way he survives in the wilderness, and you see him like he meets these Indians. He learns the ways. He even sleeps in a dead horse. Yeah, talk about gruesome. But other than that, it's a good film. As I say here, it's brutal and beautiful. But I think it's pretty class. It's a pretty good film, you know. Now here's something for you guys that we all like watching around Halloween. The very first Scream film. Oh yeah, that creepy voice. You know, the phone rings. What's your favorite scary movie? You know, and like it's just that eerie voice, like the guy who did the voice of Ghostface, Savage, and then you have what's the name of that actor who played I'm trying to think of the name of that actor who played Skeet Ulrich was pretty cool as a creepy guy as Ghostface, and then I have Matthew Lillard, aka Shaggy, you know. Then of course you have Nev Campbell, David Arquette. Then you have I think that's what they call that film, your one's name, Drew Barrymore. Then you have I'm trying to think of the name of the actor, that guy. He actually, I forget. I do see his YouTube video. I can't think of his name. The man here that played him, I can't think of his name. That guy's what's his name? The actor, you know, guys. I'm trying to think of his name. But yeah, it's a good film. No, it's good slasher film. In the 90s, late 90s. But Ghostface was pretty cool in that. Now, guys, last but not least on my Blu-ray, of course, it has to be The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. Now this I remember going seeing the cinema in Newbridge in Kildare, like in Ireland, where I'm from. This was a beast of a film. I mean, the dragon Smaug was just phenomenal, and it was actually the actor Benedict Cumberbatch did the voice of Smaug. For those who don't know, and you all know he played Doctor Strange, but yeah, he did the voice of Smaug the dragon. But I think it was pretty cool. I mean, you had Orlando Bloom reprising his role as Legolas there, as you can see. You know, that's Luke Evans as Bard. I'm trying. I forget the name. Is it David Armitage who played Thorn? David Armitage, I think. Then you have what's the name of the actor who played around the wheel? Can't think of the name of the actor who played that guy. He's actually Legolas' father. And of course, you have Ian McKellen playing as Gandalf, and then Jesus, I can't even remember the name of the actor who played Bilbo. God, I'm getting bad with names, but anyways, guys, that's all me Blu-ray. So in here were all the DVDs I was showing you, and here are my Blu-rays. So guys, I hope you like my videos. This was my very first time ever doing, pretty much ever doing a video based on me showing DVDs that I have. You know, I do have more DVDs in my room, but I didn't want to go crazy and take the whole album because I have so many DVDs in my room, guys. It's unreal. I actually not exaggerating. I really do have a lot of DVDs. Yeah. So you know what? Before I finish this video, I'm going to show you the rest of the DVDs I have. So I'm going to show you the ones I have right here. So I have, of course, the OG Lord Rings. So not Blu-ray, just the regular one. So I have the Hobbit one, and then I have the prequel, the Hobbit trilogy, and then I have Lord Rings. So I'm going to pan the camera right here. Then, of course, my favourite series, Ghost Adventures. I have the first one there, Ghost Adventures Season 2. Then I have Paranormal Lockdown. So when they were in England, in the UK, I think it was based on the Black Monk House. So that's it. So I'm going to put that somewhere. So I'm going to put this over here. Hopefully it doesn't fall ring. Okay, so here I have Rambo. That's actually Rambo. That's the 2008 film Rambo. Then I have the first three Rambo films. Sorry, the light's a bit dark, guys, in here. Then I have The Bride. So I'm going to try to pan the camera a bit closer. That's The Bride. I wasn't too sold on that film. I thought it was a bit kind of like, here's the thing, Frankenstein, that film that came out last year was awesome. Really good horror film, gothic horror film. That was a kind of a disappointment. I just couldn't get into that film. I mean, yeah, Christian Bale playing as Frankenstein was pretty decent, but the actors who played the Bride of Frankenstein was just annoying. It's kind of creepy, but annoying. But other than that, it was okay. Then I have Van Wilder, kind of a comedy film that your man, what's his name? The guy who, that I said his name. He did Deadpool. He's in that film. Funny comedy film, Not gonna funny. Like, it was one of his early films, comedy films in the early 2000s. Then I've Hostel, good kind of slasher, kind of a gruesome horror film. It was okay, It was violent, very violent, but it was alright for kind of an old horror film. I'm not gonna say it was crap. It was decent for a horror film, and it's Then The Thing. That's actually the remake of The Thing. That is. For the life of me, I can't remember. I think it was a couple of years ago that came out indeed, but that was actually a decent remake film of The Thing. But obviously, if I had the first one, it'd be great. But unfortunately, I have the remix, so that wouldn't do. Then I have Scare Movie 4. No, Scare Movie 5. Yeah, Scare Movie 5 was okay. Kind of a 9, but it was like a guilty pleasure kind of thing, Then I have the first 4, Scare Movie 1 to 4. Which number 3, number 2, and number 1 would be favourite that. But number 3 was just hilarious. The Michael Jackson scare. Funny, and then the Eminem scare. I remember, like, when he takes up the hood and he looks like a Ku Klux Klan member, which was funny. That this is a box that I bought. It's based on killers and thrillers, so it has a mixture of different films. They have Da Vinci Code, The Bourne Supremacy, Panic Room, Jagged Edge, Out of Sight, and Inside a Man, which I think of all them films, Inside a Man would be favourite. Clive Owen, and that was pretty cool in that film. Saving Private Ryan. For those who don't know, the very first scene of this film, right, was filmed in the beach in Ireland, in Wexford, actually, called Coraclaw. The very first scene in the bay, I think it's the Battle of Normandy, the start of it, you see the boats coming in. That was actually the first scene of that film was actually made in Ireland, which is something that a lot of people don't know. Then I have 20 Todd's Candyman Farewell to the Flesh was a pretty good slasher film. I mean, Tony Todd was cool, God rest his soul, but he was a cool actor in that film. The Wolf of Wall Street, funny. It was actually a pretty funny film. Young Frankenstein, Gene Wilder, good old style comedy film. But it was actually it was a good film. Downfall, which is based on Hitler, Adolf Hitler, kind of based on World War II and all. 1 hour photo. Robin Williams, God rest his soul. Good film and decent. United 93, we all know that's based on 9/11, the plane, the terrorist attack. Metallica, Conan Stunts. I had to get this because Metallica is actually one of my favourite bands. Pretty good songs in that live. And yes, I had to get Christmas DVDs because I like Christmas. So, Disney's Christmas Carol, Jim Carrey and that. And then, I forget the name of that guy who played in that film in the old 1980s Christmas Carol. But yeah, I love them films. My favourite, it's my favourite Christmas film. Then Tim Burton. I do have Tim Burton The Night Before Christmas, guys, so it had to be iconic. Sorry, guys, the mirror's in the way. I just accidentally put that there. So yeah, guys, that's some of my DVDs that you're seeing that I have. Although I wish I could show every single one of the DVDs I have in my room, but my God, this would be a longer video if I did. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the DVDs I showed, the Blu-ray DVDs I have. I love collecting DVDs every time and going around towns and stuff. I love buying them. If I see any good horror film that gets me, or any good film, I always have to get it. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Appreciate the support, guys, I've been doing. It's been awesome that I can just make different videos for you all. Like, if it's gaming, if it's music, or even DVDs now. So yeah, my next video next Wednesday is going to be me doing about my PlayStation 4 games. But until then, guys, have a great rest of your Wednesday and a great rest of your week, and take care and stay safe. And until next time, take care, guys. God bless.